Welcome back to another episode of Warp, the completely unnecessary Star Trek podcast where we do unasked for audio commentaries of Star Trek episodes. My name is Shawn.
My name is Matt.
I'm Jake.
Aaron.
Minh.
May.
We're back again. Today, though, we're not watching Star Trek.
Yes.
What?
Because we just finished a season last week, which means we treat ourselves.
Yay, yes.
Today, we are watching the 1984 David Lynch masterpiece, Dune. And why are we watching it?
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart's in it.
Oh,
There's
little
connection, baby. Boom. See, on it. We're watching it on HBO Max, and I have a clock that says 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 29 seconds. And I'm punching the triangle in 3, 2, 1, punch. There we go.
Patrick.
HBO movie presentation.
Uh-huh.
Is this one of the movies with like director's cuts or like special editions?
We can talk. We'll talk about that.
Do context now, or
yeah, I guess we should do context right at the beginning. Yeah. Minh, you've seen this, yeah?
Mm-hmm. It's been a while though.
Shawn's seen it.
I've seen it.
Jake, had you seen it before you tried to watch it?
Yes, I've seen it a few times. Yeah.
Okay. May watched part of it last night.
Yeah.
Aaron, you have not seen this movie ever.
No, and I didn't know it was David Lynch either.
Yeah.
On the original release, it was not, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, explain that.
He took his name off of it, right?
Well,
okay.
no, it's a little more complicated than that.
Oh, I love a little more complicated.
The context on this movie is arguably more interesting than the movie.
Closed captions. Closed captions.
Closed caption.
Oh yeah, turn
I
the
had it
clap.
on. Turned itself off.
Yep.
So that's the young Virginia Madsen.
Oh, shoot.
Doing the narration.
She has a ScarJo look about her.
A little bit.
That age.
She's like a perfect blend between Scarlett Johansson and Natalie Portman.
Keira Knightley a little bit.
So
Yeah, all
white
in
actress.
You're just FMK Madsen with all of that.
She was 23 when this movie came out, or 22.
There's so much exposition to like this movie that they use her as a device and then like fade her out and then they fade her back in and she's like, wait, there's more. Hold on.
I have more to say.
Okay, that's good. Okay, now you know about the spice, Arrakis. Okay, bye. Oh wait, hang on, I'm coming back.
Oh wait, there's more.
Oh yeah.
She literally comes back and says, "I forgot to tell you something."
Well, it's I think it's pretty good.
This is David Lynch's version of the opening crawl from Star Wars, where
right?
they're setting up the story for you. Except David Lynch didn't even film this. This was added after they sort of took the
walked off
from him. Yeah, he didn't do this.
So he directed it, like majority of it, and then what?
Yeah. So he was hired. Okay, context corner. It's Dune, everybody.
Yay.
Dune. 1965. Frank Herbert writes a book called Dune. It becomes a big hit. It's one of the biggest science fiction novels ever written. Has anybody read the book? Speaking of,
No.
I started the first page, I think, and that's as far as I got.
I have tried a few times over the years. It's one of those books where every 5 years or so, I think,
Right?
I should probably
Composed and performed by Toto.
Brian Eno, what are these names? Oh my gosh.
Nice. It's funny. I actually have a copy right here. I realized it's on my shelf.
Yeah.
I think Philippe
I have a
is a
hardcover
fan.
copy right here.
I think Philippe is
And
a fan.
every 5 or 6 years, I try and get into it, and I get about 35 to 40 pages in, and I go, I just can't do it.
My father
It's such a
was
slog.
huge
Like,
Dune fan. He loved the books. He read all of them.
It starts with an terminology of the Imperium. It's like an A to Z.
Yeah.
Drunk and
My dad loves it too. My dad loves this book.
Oh my gosh.
well, now I have a glossary.
It was a very popular book for apparently when this movie first came out. They handed everyone a piece of paper as they were going into the theater that had the glossary of terms on it.
Yeah, before you even, usually a glossary's in the back. This is like, bam.
They use a lot of made up words.
Yeah.
I mean,
in this movie.
they added like 2.5 minutes of Virginia Madsen telling the story, and then they go into more exposition in this film as they're going through like the different planets and like they're still doing exposition.
Like my
I sorta
worst
like
nightmare.
It is an incredibly exposition heavy movie. Like there's a lot going on, right? It is essentially a political thriller set in outer space. So Frank Herbert writes the book. It's immediately a success. Various people try to adapt it. David Lean, who directed Lawrence of Arabia, was one of the first people who was supposed to work on it. Which this is a very sandy movie, so it makes sense that they would go with the guy who made Lawrence of Arabia.
Outfits. Man, the production still holds up.
This movie looks amazing. I mean,
it's the argument for practical sets, and you could just tell it looks so much cooler than if you did it now. This whole room is CGI,
right?
Yeah, but they wouldn't even have these details. Like
no, and that, I mean, it just wouldn't look as good.
Yeah, it would look terrible.
That's crazy.
But they had to build this whole room.
Minh knows that Alejandro Jodorowsky, weirdo filmmaker, even weirder than David Lynch, if you can imagine such a thing. He was supposed to do it for a while until they realized that doing his version would cost $7 billion and 19 hours long, and no one would ever want to watch it.
Well, the true nerds would, for sure.
That version of the movie is so famous that they made a movie about the movie that he never made.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's a very interesting documentary if you're into behind the scenes movie stuff, and you get to see all the concept art that he came up with for how he wanted the movie to look, and it is even batshit crazier than this movie.
How did Lynch get all the money to make Dune like this? I don't. Okay, I remember. Yeah, I don't even remember these bits.
So after Jodorowsky drops out, Ridley Scott was supposed to do it for a while. He drops out to make Blade Runner instead, which I have to assume was a pretty good decision in retrospect. And then finally, David Lynch comes along. David Lynch is hot in Hollywood in 1983 because he had just made The Elephant Man, which was a big hit, got nominated for a bunch of Oscars. He got nominated for Best Director. It was his big sort of like mainstream breakthrough movie. Raffaella De Laurentiis, Dino's daughter. Dino De Laurentiis is this famous Italian film producer. Raffaella is his daughter. They have the rights to Dune. She sees The Elephant Man and says, David Lynch is the man for this job. Of making Dune. David Lynch agrees to make the movie despite the fact that he had never read the book, did not know the story, and does not like science fiction.
I was wondering, having a hard time picturing David Lynch sitting down with a copy of Dune.
Oh my God. That's like the Richard Branson approach to business. Just say yes, and then you'll figure it out later.
He does not like to talk about this movie, so it's hard to find sort of like published statements by him about it because it was he had such a terrible time that he basically has disowned this entire thing. But the one he says that the reason that he did it was because it was an opportunity to do something, he's a very visual guy, so it was a chance for him to do something on a sort of spectacle level that he had never been able to do before.
I mean, it looks cool.
Oh my gosh, this creature is awesome. Crazy, alien, revolting, but cool. It's like a true alien. I love it.
David Lynch makes this movie. They shoot it in Mexico. They spend $45 million, which was a lot of money.
Sure.
I mean, that's like 120 million now.
Something like that.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Elephant Man has how many people in the cast?
It's a smallish movie. I mean,
to imagine.
It's basically about the Elephant Man and his doctor, right? Anthony Hopkins.
What did he? Okay, he had just done Elephant Man, but he had already done Eraserhead? Is that
Eraserhead.
correct?
Yeah. So his first movie
That
is
was it. So this is
Eraserhead.
his third movie.
Yeah, his first movie is Eraserhead. That's the movie that kind of gets him on the radar, but that's a super weird movie
Sure.
that was kind of an art house movie.
But that's why Mel Brooks wanted him to do Elephant Man.
Was like a big mainstream hit. You know,
Didn't Michael Jackson sing a song for it? Am I right?
He may have sung a song about it, but it's set in Victorian England.
No. He got Elephant Man's skeleton. That's what I'm thinking.
He wanted to buy it. Yeah.
To buy the Elephant Man.
The original Elephant Man's bones.
Did he not succeed? I thought he had it.
I can't remember.
I don't remember now.
I was like, why am I thinking of Michael Jackson?
We'll have to CC that later.
So he makes his movie. His original cut of the movie is 4 hours long. And at that point, the De Laurentiis duo, basically they take the movie away from him, and because he did not have David Lynch is the other thing he always says is it's the movie that taught me that I should always have final cut on my movies, because they took it away from him and they added stuff. They added that Virginia Madsen prologue at the beginning in an attempt to make the movie make more sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But they also cut a lot of stuff out of it that might have arguably helped it to make more sense. You know?
But
you just can't release a 4 hour long movie.
They release it. It's a flop. It's a commercial flop. It's a critical flop. I'll read you guys some of the reviews from the time later, and they are pretty scathingly funny. Ebert in particular hated this movie. And so David Lynch goes, I'm never going to work on a big budget again. I'm never going to work on a movie that I don't have complete control over again. And he goes off and makes Blue Velvet and basically stays in his lane from that point on. Never attempts to make anything on this level ever again. But that's the context of Dune.
But since Dune has become a cult hit, has he gone back to acknowledge it? Has he released the 4 hour director cut? He
has never he still to this day essentially does not like to talk about it.
Okay.
Well, I doubt he has the rights to his cut. Do you think? I don't know.
Well, apparently Universal does, and
it's so loved.
Every once in a while, you hear these sort of rumors that Universal is talking to David Lynch about maybe releasing a special edition of Dune, and but nothing ever comes of it. And I'm pretty sure nothing ever comes of it because David Lynch doesn't want to do it. You know what I mean?
Once he'll have to pass, and his estate will have to buy into be paid off, and that's when we'll get the 4 hour version, I think.
But there are certainly lots of this is very much a David Lynch movie in a lot of ways. It's on a huge, bizarre scale, but it's got a lot of his favorite actors in it.
I was going to say.
There's baby Kyle MacLachlan.
Oh, he's so handsome. Look at that face.
David Lynch's alter ego is in this movie.
And more exposition.
And we're going to see lots of other David Lynch regulars over the course of this movie, too. And it's weird, and it's kind of it's kind of disturbing in a way that David Lynch movies can be. It's definitely got a David Lynch feel.
There's the man. The reason we watch it.
And there's a quantum leap connection. Wow.
So these dudes, Aaron, would you like a brief explanation of what's happening in the movie?
Sure.
Now that we did real world
content. It's not really playing. It's a flip over here, so I'm making no sense of it.
So Kyle MacLachlan is the son of a guy named Duke Leto. And those three dudes are like his tutors that are supposed to teach him to become a king, basically, right? And they live on this planet that's all water, but they're about to get reassigned by the Emperor to go to another planet that's all dirt. And that's the planet that the name of the book comes from. Mm-hmm. And it's also where this thing called the spice is mined. The spice is like a mineral that allows space travel. It's like what powers their ships. And it also gives them, if you snort it, it gets you high and gives you like mind reading powers and shit.
Cool.
But they are sending them there. The Emperor, who was that guy we saw earlier in the gold room with Virginia Madsen, that's the Emperor. He's sending them there as part of a plot because he really wants them dead.
Okay, so it's
them to
not
take over this planet is actually
So, why are blocks fighting each other right now?
yeah. So they have these like energy shield things that when they turn them on,
actually,
They are cool.
from getting blocks you from getting hurt. So Patrick Stewart is playing one of his like tutors who's teaching him how to self-defense.
And he's got it. What do people feel about this Dean Stockwell look here with the mustache,
The mustache
and
is the real
eyebrows?
It's a great play. I like the mustache.
Yeah, it's bold. I like it. Yeah,
It works. It works with the outfit, the hair, the nice.
It is kind of timely that we're watching this because the new one comes out this year sometime. if
Who's
they
directing that? Is that
Denis Villeneuve?
Villeneuve, the Arrival guy?
Didn't he also do Blade Runner?
Yeah, the Blade Runner sequel.
The Blade Runner sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen
Covering all the classics now. Oh my God! What can you imagine being in his shoes and you're like, oh my gosh, he's probably watched these movies and loved them, and then now he gets the chance to like remake them, redo them.
Apparently, he's always wanted to make Dune. Like this is like a dream movie for him.
Wow.
So in the new movie, how old do you think Kyle MacLachlan is in this movie?
In this movie,
20,
18.
Anybody else want to guess?
No, I don't want to guess. I'm not
23.
Good at these games.
Yeah, he's 25.
Wow.
How about Patrick Stewart?
And in the new one, it's Timothée Chalamet is playing that part.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And he's also 25. But doesn't he seem much younger than Kyle MacLachlan looks in this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Kyle MacLachlan looks like an adult, a young adult, but still an adult. Timothée Chalamet looks like he's 12 still.
Well, if you put him in a uniform like that.
Chalamet.
From Call Me by Your Name and
Little Women, the new one.
Little
Okay,
Women.
I've seen it. I can't picture him.
Yeah, just squint your eyes at Kyle MacLachlan and you've basically got Timothée Chalamet.
If they put him in like that type of suit, like uniform, they can older him up. Chalamet.
Yeah, he's just a more
give him
twinkie
that
version.
hair. Give him the nice 80s.
I mean, his hair is
wave.
pretty shaggy.
So anyway, they're teaching Kyle MacLachlan how to be a soldier. It's all whatever. I'm sort of regretting I picked this movie.
There's like so much you could talk about, like the setup of this movie, like even more so than they've already tried to do. It's just like it goes. There's a lot of jargon. There's a lot of vocabulary.
Yeah, you have to know about like all the different factions and all the different planets, and
Oh, I don't care about that. I just like the cool looks.
you just like the cool robot.
Yeah, well, the robot is sort of cheesy, but everybody else, like Patrick Stewart, everyone looks awesome. The set design, I mean, when you look at it too long, it feels a little dated, but the detail that's gone into it is just, I'm still amazed by it all. I'm impressed that they pulled it off, like David Lynch especially, because this is just so huge of a scale. It feels to me.
The other movie that he almost made, and instead he made this, was he also got offered the job directing Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Which it's kind of fun to think about what David Lynch's Return of the Jedi would have looked like.
With David Lynch's Return of the Jedi.
I'm thinking the Ewoks are not nearly as cuddly in David Lynch's Return of the Jedi.
It would definitely be eating the corpses of the Imperial.
Yeah, they've got fangs.
Well, everyone ultimately got to make their space movie, right? Because Ridley Scott got to make Aliens, the second one. Did he do it? He did the first one, Alien, right? And it's totally different from Dune, and that's different from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's all true.
I mean, I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks super cool.
What was the
David
budget
Lynch knows
for
how
the
to make
film?
movies. Like, there's no doubt about it. So there's Kyle's dad,
That's his dad.
The Duke.
the Duke.
Sorry, you got nothing on the Duke from Bridgerton, dude. Got nothing on him.
What else has this actor been in?
That's Jürgen Prochnow. He
Yeah.
was in Das Boot. Das Boot.
That's Boot, the English pageant.
We lost May.
Mhm. She's thinking about Bridgerton right now. Do you need
And
a
I'm just
moment?
laughing how there was like no response.
I only saw one episode. I'm neutral on Bridgerton.
Yeah.
I want to like it, but I'm just like, I don't know. Something's missing.
I've heard of it. Don't know anything about it.
But the guy's amazing looking.
He is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have it simultaneously playing because it's supposed to match up.
It's like Dark
Your
Side
own
of the Moon,
personal
Wizard of
Dark
Oz.
Side of the Moon, Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Whenever a sandworm appears, people in Bridgerton are having sex. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
And
You
doubly erotic.
You should try playing.
This movie has
Beetlejuice
music
along
by
with it.
Toto in it, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
yeah, we saw. Is it the rains in Africa or no? And that is that
Yes,
too on the
that's all they
nose?
do over and over. They just play Africa on a loop throughout the whole movie.
That would work.
Yeah.
But they do have more than one hit.
I do like that you realized that would be a little on the nose, though.
I bless the rains down in Arrakis.
There you go.
Oh,
There's Sting.
Sting.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like Sting, weird, oddly enough.
Was this the first thing Sting acting he ever did?
I don't know. There's Sean Young.
Young. The blue eyes.
Did they have to wear special UV contacts for those blue eyes? Or
I
was that-
believe they were wearing contacts, yeah.
Is that
Wow.
practical, you think? That's not overlaid?
No, I'm sure. I think they're probably wearing blue contact lenses.
I think it might be a combination. That's my guess.
Who is this?
That's Paul's mother.
Cool ass fucking.
So
hood.
she's,
She has a very strange and exotic name, Jessica.
yeah, her name is Jessica.
Well, his
Like,
name is Paul. It's
Every
not
class
like
B
they
I
have
had,
like
yeah.
outlandish names.
That's funny.
His dad's name is Leo.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, Leto. Yeah, it's just funny. The names that have survived to the year 10,000.
Right. We forgot to mention that part. It's supposed to be like the year 10,000.
Oh.
Paul. Hmm.
So
Or if the reason why everyone I knew was named Jessica is because some people read Dune in 1965.
yeah, maybe might have accounted for an uptick in popularity. Who knows?
Right around the same time this came out, you know what else came out? Jessica Rabbit.
Double whammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jessica Simpson. Yeah.
So,
It'll be much
Aaron,
later.
Paul has these dreams that are sort of prophetic. He's sort of dreaming about the future. And his mother, Jessica, is part of this weird organization of space nuns.
Cool.
And their whole
I
deal
guess
is
they
that
can do it, though.
they're trying to find like the next savior of humanity. And Jessica wasn't supposed, and it's an all-girl group, the Space Nuns. They're all nuns, no priests. And Jessica was not supposed to have a son. She was.
I
supposed
was
to have
going
a
to say,
daughter.
Yeah, she sort of broke off from the sect.
She sort of did something she wasn't supposed to do by having Paul in the first place. And now Paul has these weird superpowers that the Space Nuns are concerned about. So they're going to give him a test to see what he can do, what his powers can do.
How long do you think that hair takes to?
I
to
know.
do?
I'm impressed.
It's amazing.
It's got
It's
some
a little
kind of
Blade
wig.
Runner-y. Oh, yeah, might be a wig.
Either way. It's gotta be impressed. It's gotta get built.
Didn't Blade Runner have hair like that? I gotta go back. I gotta check that out.
I like it.
Yeah, she kind of did. Sean Young kind of had like a
Mm-hmm.
whatever you call that, an updo or whatever that
Up
is.
soup.
Yeah.
Oh look, it's a little pug. At least pug survived. Yay! Way to go, Pug.
I know. Wouldn't have
2,000 years?
predicted that.
Yeah, right? People would just love... The pugs are universally adorable, apparently.
Yeah.
But the concept of pets is still a thing in 10,000.
But it's only pugs and bulldog breeds that have really...
That's it.
And giant fucking worms.
Giant worms.
too.
Yeah.
They're going to have a hard time breathing in the dry climes. Just saying.
Yeah, right. They have masks, probably. Yeah. But for the dogs? Do they bring the pug to Arrakis?
I don't remember if you ever see the dog once they get to Arrakis. They get killed pretty soon after that.
Oh.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Actually, I think there is one like fun shot of like everything getting blown up and the dog running through the halls.
Oh.
I'm hoping it's true.
As you do.
Yeah.
So this lady's like the Reverend Mother, Mother Superior or whatever, and she's testing.
Well, don't the nuns have the thing called the voice?
Yeah, they have
basically makes you whatever they say you are forced to do. You don't.
Yeah, they can like compel you with their
control you.
powers.
They're like Gollum. It's like a Gollum voice.
Yeah, it's a weird voice effect thing.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Oh,
Seven.
I remember the scene from watching as I was a kid.
Ooh.
It's freaky.
You know, if we were communicating by our minds, you know what Minh's voice would say?
What?
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah.
Smoke weed every day.
What was that? The soundboard?
Yeah, it was a soundboard. It was a button that said "smoke weed every day."
Well, certainly
Smoke
it.
weed every day.
I've got that spice running through my life.
I like that one. Speaking of spice,
No.
speaking of melange, that's the other thing they call it.
So this is the test where he puts his hand in the box, he feels burning sensations, and he's supposed to
Just deal with it.
deal with it. Oh, it's like meditation.
But like
It's-
supposedly like nobody like
Oh,
ever passes
Jesus.
this test. And they
Yeah,
die?
no man I think has ever passed the
Yeah.
test.
Well, if you felt like your hand was being burned by acid,
Right.
Jesus.
But you're supposed to be able to remember that it's not real.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's not actually happening.
It's crazy that this movie was almost 40 years old, but it is wow. I'm super impressed by David Lynch and just this whole effort here.
Peaches is here.
You should let him know
Yay.
that we really support this movie. Maybe he'll start talking about it.
Yeah, maybe it'll become popular one day. Oh,
That one was called Darth Vader No.
I thought it was just part of the movie. I was like, wait, what?
what, who else would you cast in Kyle MacLachlan's place today instead of Timothy Chalamet?
Seth Rogen. Hilarious.
We're going in a very different
That would
direction.
be a very good. That'd be a choice.
That's actually, I like that. It's different. It's not Denis Villeneuve's movie.
Wait, you're telling me that this stuff expands your mind? I already have something for that.
Too late.
But I'll try it out.
Excuse me while I go have sex with Charlize Theron.
Yeah, she would play that role right there. The mother, the
The
nun?
mother, the nun.
Yeah, the mother Bene Gesserit, is she?
She is a Bene Gesserit, yeah.
Don't throw your Dune knowledge around like you're swinging your dick, man.
I mean, impressive. You knew
Just
that.
pulling words out like he knows what he's talking about.
Sorry, Dad.
I think he does know what he's talking about.
I know it's so rare for this show for men to know what he's talking about.
I mean, you're not
You're
wrong.
gonna sit there and take that, man?
No, I will. I mean, how can you argue against the truth? You'd be crazy too. You'd have to be a cultist, basically. But let's not bring politics into this.
I forgot to say at the beginning, this was a special episode because it's the first one that we've recorded without a Donald Trump as president.
Woo!
Yay.
Yay.
I can barely bring myself to cheer.
Man, last 4 years have been rough on you guys.
Year has been rough, I think. So we're keeping it together. It's we're on an upswing.
Are we about to meet the Baron Harkonnen?
Right.
Harkonnen? Harkonnen? We got some static on the line.
No, that's audience applause button.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
That doesn't really read.
it didn't really read. Did this guy play?
Well, I'm
Mozart?
sorry, but I don't know if it reads or not until I push it. See what it sounds
No,
like.
Yeah,
it's Brad Dourif.
The Mentat.
By the juice of Sappho. it's pretty
Yeah.
flowery.
He's you might remember him as Worm Tongue from the Lord of the Rings films.
Okay.
Or not.
Yeah. Oh,
Basically
I-
the same role.
Hmm.
Kind of a
Yeah, kind of. He is. Yeah.
kind of a lackey.
He's a
Evil lackey.
Yeah. Evil lackey.
Baron Harkonnen.
Man,
What it almost feels fascist. Their look, their whole regime look.
they are very stormtroopery looking.
Well, they're the baddies.
Okay.
Yeah, they make no efforts to conceal the fact that they're the baddies. Everything about them is pretty horrid.
You feel it makes me. Oh my gosh! What
That's
the hell
just
is?
unnecessary to have those people look like that.
Oh my gosh! So this explains the sores a little more. Oh Jesus! Yeah, Matt, do you know why? Could you give us a little exposition? Oh, this scene is disturbing me. It reminds me of those popping videos, those like pimple popping videos. Ooh.
Dr. Popper?
Oh God. No. Yeah.
I'm guessing that all of this is how they are described in the book.
Okay.
Except for this room with the green walls. This is a real room at Cal Poly Pomona.
What do you suppose sad violin is? Let's see.
For Sting's entrance, no less.
Oh wait, Sting just came in.
Yep.
Yeah. Sting came in.
There he is.
And his big fat partner.
I think they're cousins.
Oh, are they cousins?
I think so. I pushed record scratch when Sting come in, but that didn't really
Yeah.
read either.
It didn't really. Yeah. Oh, we got Patches on the line.
See, they're plotting to send them to Arrakis, where
What is
Patches
happening?
getting like into things.
yeah,
Pat's
it
just
was.
doing some ASMR. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
She's like,
It's a trap.
okay.
Oh. Oh. Mm.
What about Sting?
He's watching you.
Okay. I see what you're doing there.
Oh. Wow. They're really going all in with the weird, crazy alien stuff.
There's a lot of goopy stuff in this film.
Yeah, they're gross. This movie.
Oh.
There's a lot
Oh.
of gross stuff in this film.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Which
Good
makes
stuff.
a lot of sense. If you give David Lynch a lot of money, he's going to do a lot of gross shit.
I Matt is all in his soundboard. These outfits are I mean, there's almost Star Trek level quality here with some of them. Ugh.
What do you mean?
No, like the servant who was just pushed in that white plastic contraption. It looked like he was wearing diapers. I don't know. Sting looks good though, for sure.
I think it's in his contract that Sting can be evil but not look creepy.
yeah.
Later, when he strips down to his little gold bikini, you get a real eyeful of Sting in this movie.
His name is Vladimir.
Yay!
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can fly too.
Now
He's like
think we all
Jabba the
want
Hutt, kind of like. You can kind of see like what David Lynch's Return of the Jedi would look like, because his
Right.
Jabba the Hutt, his Jabba the Hutt would have looked a lot like this guy.
Interestingly, this is more disturbing to me than Jabba the Hutt. Oh my! Whoa, Jesus!
Why? Why? did
Billie
they have to
Eilish
do that?
music video. See,
They
look
brought
at
him a
this
young
outfit
boy
right here.
version.
Oh,
the
that's
second.
like. Oh, you mean that guy's outfit?
Yeah,
It looks like,
that
it looks
outfit.
like it's made out of plastic.
Oh my! What? Oh, this is so disturbing. Oh,
Yeah, he's not a nice person.
I don't even remember this from like watching it when I was young.
And they make them have weird like gaps shaved in their heads and stuff.
Oh,
That guy standing next to Brad Dourif is Jack Nance, who's a regular David Lynch guy. He's Pete Martell in Twin Peaks, and
Right.
he was Eraserhead. You know, he's been all David Lynch's stuff.
wow. That seems.
So that whole point of that scene is just to show you how bad those
Just how
people.
disgusting
Ah, that was
they are.
Now you know they're mean. In case you didn't know before.
Oh, there's the pug. The pug has returned.
Oh yeah, he's taking the dog with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene is super gross, even by today's standards. It was like, God. So,
Yeah, it's goopy.
Now we're flashback.
Sometimes David Lynch can be gross.
I really appreciate it though, because like I felt it was sort of like walking a line, whereas like if it was done nowadays by someone,
You're talking in a trash can.
I can't hear you at all, man.
I have to.
Now he's gone permanently. Okay, moving on.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sort of. It just sounds like your volume is turned way down.
it sounded like somebody was humping one of their mics a little bit, and then it was cutting Minh out.
Sorry. Guys.
Oh, look, that looks like the inanimate carbon rod that attacked the Earth in Star Trek 4.
It kind of does. You're right. I love that they have just a big old like picture frame on the outside of their cargo bay where they store the ships. Like,
Classy.
yeah, it is. It's super classy. It's like,
It's
They're,
like the
they're
entrance to
royalty,
Narnia.
man. You got to gold gilded stuff.
yeah, just because we're going to another planet doesn't mean we can't travel in style. So again, it's a lot of Kyle MacLachlan just looking into space while Kyle MacLachlan does a voiceover explaining
What's happening?
what's happening. Like it's like, yeah, they're getting ready to go to the other planet. We know that.
They sent
Yeah,
a
they
lot
do
of
a
money
lot of
into these
telling and
shots.
not as much showing.
Let's just go.
Yeah, we're 40 minutes into the film, and they haven't gotten to Arrakis yet.
Yeah.
So the worms are those guys are the navigators, right?
Yes.
And they are the ones that can make space travel happen.
Yeah.
With the power of the spice.
Yeah.
Spice.
These effects are
I
definitely.
do like that it's called spice.
So they shoot what out of their holes? What are they shooting?
What don't they shoot out of their holes?
So the navigators have they've ingested so much spice that they've basically transformed into these creatures, right?
Yeah.
And they sort of live in spice. Like that liquid they float in is like spice juice. And then they spew some of their spice power out when it's time to go fast in space. When they have to go to warp speed. This is their version of dilithium. This is how they get around the galaxy. Is by giant space navigator dudes who live in spice baths.
Well, I'm curious to see the updated rendition of that. Oh, they got a cylinder. Yay. It is
what he was talking about. He said it looks like
late to the conversation there, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was dealing with some tech stuff. Here's
and there
the fan.
you have the titular dunes.
There it is.
Yay.
Dunes. When we get done with this, you guys should watch the trailer for the new version, and you'll see the sort of aesthetic that they're going for is very different from what David Lynch is doing here. Oh, you're right. Those are animated. Like somebody's
got to be right.
Somebody's colored those in.
There's a double exposure thing.
Yeah, that's not a
not natural.
No.
It looks like they might have blue contact lenses under that, maybe.
Yeah.
And then they lay over blue on top of it.
Could be.
Get the double whammy.
I feel like maybe we probably have friends who are Dune heads who have read all of the books.
Wait, there's more than one book?
Oh my God, yes. There's so many.
And isn't it like a Tolkien thing? Like he died and they kept releasing.
Yeah, he wrote 4 or 5 and then died, and now his son writes them, the continuing stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a whole.
The first one was 1965. Was he into psychedelic drugs and stuff like that? Where's this whole spice thing come from?
Yeah, he was kind of part of the whole early environmental movement. He's the inventor of Earth Day. You know how Earth Day is on April 22nd every year.
Oh.
Yeah.
The reason I know that is it's also my birthday. That's how I always remember it. But he started that. He was sort of a hippie. Yeah, you know. And so I'm sure psychedelic drugs were not foreign to him, you know. He's part of that sort of class of science fiction guys who were big in the 60s, like Robert Heinlein and guys like that who were writing about sort of the changes in culture, but through science fiction, you know, Stranger in a Strange Land and all those kind of books.
I'm just trying to figure out whether he's pro-spice or anti-spice, because the people who take too much are pretty gross looking.
Well, he's pretty pro-spice, I think, in
okay.
When you get down, really get down to it.
Seems important, but it seems like maybe you could do too much of it or something.
Well, if you do too much of it, then you can travel between.
That's true. I guess you just the weirdness of them kind of is off-putting to me. So the grotesqueness. So I'm like, is that a good thing?
Well, those are personal. I suppose,
well,
choices.
in this book, mostly in this story, it's mostly a metaphor, right? It's this book is really about oil. The spice is just a metaphor for oil that has it can give you superpowers and shit. But really this, if you strip away sort of the sci-fi trappings, this book is about the Middle East and about colonization and imperialism and all those kinds of things.
I've never snorted oil before.
but it powers your engines. Is my point.
Hmm.
Don't play dumb with me.
Nice attempt to derail everything.
Probably have, man. You just didn't know.
Don't say dumb shit while I'm making a good point. Like,
Yeah,
that's
sorry. I thought that's why I was hired.
Nice.
That's Max
That was
von
a good
Sydow.
Yeah, it sure is.
It looks great.
Max von Sydow didn't want to do this movie because he thought it was dumb, but he's really good friends with Alec Guinness, who had been in Star Wars a few years earlier. And apparently Alec Guinness said to Max von Sydow, just do it, Max. It doesn't. They'll pay you a fortune, and it's really easy. And it doesn't matter if you understand what it's about. And so Max von Sydow agreed to be in this movie.
It's the beginning of the end. Yeah. Well, Alec Guinness famously got paid and thought what he thought of Star Wars.
He thought the whole thing was silly. He said the script was incomprehensible.
Yeah.
But
Costume.
He wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
So these costumes that they're wearing, they turn sweat into drinkable water.
Cool.
And everything.
Oh, but also waste matter too.
Yes.
I think it's
Bear
just
Grylls
supposed to
would
be
love
sweat,
it.
isn't it? I don't think
no,
they
they talk
also
about-
pee in these
The
suits, do they?
suit processes.
No, he
urine
just said-
and poop.
Oh, does
he
it?
just said urine and
Urine and
feces are
feces.
processed in this
Ooh.
pouch
The
down
thighs.
here.
Hmm.
Oh, I knew it
There
was
you go.
sweat because they call them like perspiration suits or something like that, right?
So you're just supposed to
Still
go in the suit and it'll convert it for you?
They call them still suits.
Still,
Yeah,
suits.
it's for surviving in the desert because the
Yeah.
whole planet
There's no water.
the whole planet is desert.
Yeah.
So there's like no water anywhere.
Yeah.
So if they get trapped in the desert, the only way to survive is to sort of live through these suits, right?
Mm.
Because otherwise
Yeah.
you die of thirst or whatever.
Fucking Bear Grylls would love one of those suits.
He's probably built one.
I bet he would consider it cheating.
Guy loves drinking his own pee.
In survival situations, he just doesn't.
I don't know.
it's
I
not
think he
like
does it at
leisurely.
home.
I mean, nobody's forcing him to go to those places.
He's
He's
demonstrating.
putting himself in those places so he has reason to drink his own.
He
pee.
could stay home if he didn't want to drink his own
It's
tea.
all an elaborate ruse.
Do you-
So you can drink his own
He
pee.
loves drinking his own pee, but he feels really bad about it, so he has to come up with reasons why he.
So he's like, I'll become a television star, and that way I'll have to drink my own tea. Because it's what the people demand.
You think his producers are like Bear? Like they've seen this enough times. They don't
Right.
need. This is.
I think his producers are like, Bear, there's like a creek right over there. Like, just off camera, there's a lovely creek.
No, that's too dangerous. I have
No,
to
no.
drink my own pee.
No.
Here we go into.
Did
the
I tell you
desert.
guys for my that my mom gave me for Christmas an emergency backpack? Did we talk about this yet?
No.
Yeah.
She gave me one of those like survival kits because she got one and she thought she was like, you should have one too in case there's like a big earthquake or something.
Mhm.
So now I have this like huge backpack with like it's power bars and
Yeah.
water tablets and like glow sticks and an emergency radio, like all this stuff. Which I actually have to admit, I'm kind of glad I have now because I'm like, there could be a big, huge
Yeah.
earthquake, and you might
Yeah.
need something like that.
Yeah.
So even though I was kind of laughing about it, I'm also I'm glad I have it now, and I know where it is, and So anyway, I have an emergency kit. Does anybody else have a survivor kit for when the big one hits?
I
Yeah.
expect Aaron
It's
does.
possible. My wife has one. I wouldn't know where it is.
I should probably re-up it, but I have like a big trash can in my closet that's like all for emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Roll it out. It's got like clothing and other things that you might need in case of.
I hadn't noticed that he had a diamond carved into his
Yeah.
head.
Third eye. Hmm. You were
I
so
like
distracted by
Stockwell.
the mustache.
I don't think that's a surprise to anybody knowing my affinity for Quantum Leap, but Dean Stockwell is amazing. He does not do enough work.
Yeah. Oh, he's got to be pretty old now.
Yeah, but even when he could, I don't think he did enough.
Mhm.
Well, David Lynch liked him because
Yeah. He's in Blue Velvet.
he's going to be in Blue Velvet in a couple years after this movie.
I was looking at the cast. I didn't realize that Ed from Twin Peaks is also in this film.
Yeah, a lot of David Lynch regulars show up in this movie. He plays the head. He plays the boss of the rebels, the Freeman.
Freeman, however you say it.
So all they're doing is just flying around. Like for a movie that is incredibly dense and complicated, this is what I was saying
It
earlier.
takes a lot of time.
It's a lot of people just sitting and talking.
Well,
You know
it's
what
so much. They're just explaining
There's
everything.
David Lynch. There's David Lynch.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
David Lynch.
Nice.
Yeah. David Lynch in his one cameo in this movie.
I like the quilted interior of their cabin.
Yeah, it's like all upholstered and shit. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's like the frame doorway thing. Spaceway.
Anywho.
Is something going wrong? Is something going wrong?
They're under attack by
This is the plot. This is the trap that Matt had mentioned earlier.
yeah. So now that they've gotten them to this planet, they're gonna launch this attack to wipe them out.
Well, this first part is just there's a worm attacking.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and what the trap part is that the carry-all that's supposed to take the harvester away, it's not there for some reason,
There's the worm.
Yeah.
and that's
Comes
because
the
of the
worm.
Harkonnen.
Here comes the worm.
And the guy who wrote Tremors has an orgasm.
Come
like-
to Jesus moment.
I know what I'm going to do when I grow up.
He's like, I'm gonna write a movie where
about
there's
giant worms.
but it's in Texas instead.
Yes. But here's the trick.
Yeah.
It's in Texas.
It's a bunch of rednecks.
And then his mom served him a big plate of bacon,
hmm
and destiny was sealed.
I feel like Max von Sydow did other space movies before this, or maybe after this. Was it after this?
I think he's in. He's done other things since then, but I don't know if he had done anything
Well,
like
wasn't
this
he-
before this.
Am I wrong that he was in Flash Gordon?
He's in Flash Gordon,
He's Minh,
but that's
right?
after this.
That's after this. Okay.
Well,
I thought that was before this.
I could be wrong, but I think it's like 87 or 88. It's Flash Gordon. I could be
it's a
wrong.
big spice worm.
Oh, they're big.
Yes, Daddy.
And spicy.
No, Flash Gordon is 1980.
Oh, okay. So I was
So he
wrong.
had already done a big. So who is he to start complaining about Dune when he was in Flash Gordon?
Maybe because he saw how Flash Gordon sort of played out.
Maybe he was like, I'm never doing that
Never
again.
doing that shit again. I remember
Although
all
I
that
enjoyed
crazy
Flash
ass
Gordon.
makeup I had to be in.
Who did he
He's
play in Flash Gordon
He's
again?
in Conan
Well, that's
before this.
De Laurentiis connection.
That's true. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to hear some of the reviews of the film?
Yeah.
Sure.
Roger Ebert
Oh.
gave Dune 1 star out of 4 and wrote, "This movie is a real mess, an incomprehensible, ugly, unstructured, pointless excursion into the murkier realms of one of the most confusing screenplays of all time."
I don't agree with ugly.
I don't agree with ugly either. He called it it was his worst movie of the year that year. He said it was the worst movie of the year.
Wow.
Jeez.
Siskel said it's physically ugly. It contains at least a dozen gory, gross out scenes.
I guess count that stuff. It is ugly. I'm focusing on
But I
And the
think that was
story
meant-
is confusing. Can I finish reading the review? Its story is confusing beyond belief. In case I haven't made myself clear, I hated watching this film.
Mm.
That's strong.
Well, it wasn't the director's cut.
New York Times. Several of the characters in Dune are psychic, which puts them in the unique position of being able to understand what goes on in the movie.
Thanks.
Bad reviews.
Mhm.
But I think Min's point is that, like, over the years, it's become sort of a partly because of Lynch heads and partly because of Dune heads. It's become sort of a
Colt.
cult classic. Yeah. I would happily watch David Lynch's 4-hour director's cut of this movie. I bet it's better, even though it's twice as long.
Longer. Yeah.
There's Linda Hunt,
Linda Hunt.
Academy Award winner Linda Hunt.
What?
She's talking to herself.
She's talking to herself. That's all they do in this movie is talk to themselves.
The AR budget alone on this film was millions of dollars.
Well, and a lot of the voiceover stuff was added after too. Like
Sure.
Lynch didn't do most of that stuff.
Yeah, he
That's a
just had
spice or is that a
minutes
bugle?
and minutes of people staring into space saying nothing.
Yeah, he might have. Who knows?
Lynch
It wouldn't be totally out of character for him.
No. Nope. Here goes.
Did he just take spice? Did he
Yes.
just eat the spice? Oh, okay. Oh,
You know, you gotta try it
whoa.
once, right?
I think my
Jeez.
favorite thing to come out of all this, unsurprisingly, is that there was an excellent video game.
Was there?
Dune 2 was like there's a first Dune game that was kind of a bizarre like kind of a adventure, like interactive adventure, like puzzler. But there was a second game that was like a real-time strategy game where you like built like bases and harvested
sure.
spice and stuff.
Okay.
It was awesome.
Hmm.
Huh.
And when did that come out?
Wow.
Probably in the early 90s.
Like a PC game, or
Yeah. Or
Sounds
You
like
guys,
Master Orion or
a
something.
giant dildo has flown into the room, you guys.
I don't know.
oh, good. We're finally gonna get some sexiness and not just
action's
ugliness.
coming now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so he took the spice and had weird vision. Like, he already has weird dreams. Now he's going to have weird visions, too.
And now he just slips off into like a dream trance, and then now he's back and he's realizing someone's trying to kill him.
Yeah, this little floating robot death thing is floating around in the room trying to kill him. But as long as he stays perfectly clear, it can't, like, spot him or whatever. So he has to use his magic powers to, like...
For a far future thing, their vision of the future is not it's not lasery.
No, it's not
LiDAR-y.
laser.
Very
It's not,
pokey.
it's not bright and energy. It's all like needles and hard edges.
They went back to swords and knives and stuff to fight.
It's a lot of pokey. They do have the shields, but... Oh, there, he got it.
Hmm.
That's
Well,
how this room is not clear.
he's got that floppy hair look, that shaggy hair look.
Yeah, his hair is very shoofy in this
So it
scene.
is.
Shoofy.
It might be the year 10,000.
I was trying to say floofy, but then I started to say shaggy, and then I got all mixed up, and it came out shoofy. I'm
I
sorry.
think
No,
that's
I
a good way to describe that hair as shoofy.
It's floofy and shaggy. Yeah, it's shoofy.
Well. Hmm.
So
You-
have we figured out who the traitor is yet?
Not yet. He hasn't revealed himself.
It's always the shifty guy with the mustache.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the mustache alone should give it away, right?
Dean Stockwell?
If only
The
he
fact
had a
that they
full
call him Dean
goatee.
Stockwell, like
What happened here?
That was the guy controlling the space dildo.
I don't know. The shifty guy with the big eyebrows too could be the bad guy. Big eyebrows is never a good thing.
Which one has the big eyebrows?
This guy. Is that yak hair, you think?
If they did it right, it is.
It's got a little it feels a little like Brazil. Who's the director for Terry Gilliam?
Yeah.
Oh.
Their aesthetic is very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It needs to be more weird for the sake of being weird.
As our other friend Matt, though, noticed, David Lynch is kind of European foo-foo with its weirdness.
Shoofy, would you say?
Terry Gilliam's American.
Yeah. But yeah.
I mean,
I know David Lynch is too.
I mean, he worked with, Monty Python.
I don't think of Terry Gilliam as being particularly American. He's spent all those years in England.
Yeah, doesn't he still live in England?
Probably.
Yeah, he's an Anglophile.
Is he ever going to make that Man of La Mancha movie?
I think he made it.
Did it get made?
I think
Did
so.
it actually come out?
I think
saw
it came
documentary about
I think they put it on. I think he made it.
Did it get made? Okay. Let's see if I can find that. Although Johnny Depp is such a troubling figure these days.
He's not in. It's not him. It's,
did they reshoot it completely?
They reshot it completely. It's Adam Driver.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I can get behind that.
That was who I was thinking could play Kyle MacLachlan's role for a remake.
I'd be on board with that.
Yeah, I like him.
Came out in 2018. I never saw it.
Have to look
I
to see if I
actually-
can find that.
I'd like to see Samuel Jackson as Kyle MacLachlan's character. Really.
Oh, speaking of Samuel Jackson, I was blown away the other day when I found out how old he was.
Oh.
He's got to be 70.
He's 72.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, but he's in his 70s.
I mean, does that blow your mind though when you look at him?
That's
Yeah, he
great.
looks good. I just kind of assume based on
Just how long he's been around, sure, but it's still
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
I mean,
Still making movies. Love.
yeah, he does that.
Mhm.
Have I brought it up? You see the commercial with him and John Travolta as Santa
I'm
Claus?
saying like banking ads, city
Yeah,
card.
it's Capital One.
Yeah, okay, that's right.
Uh-oh. What's going on with...
Well,
So
they
what
killed
else
Linda
has
Hunt
Linda
quickly.
Hunt been in? I recognize her, but
some CSI show or something?
Yeah.
She's on one of the NCISs these
Oh.
days.
Yeah.
what's she best known for?
She won an Oscar for The Year of Living Dangerously,
Playing a man,
which was a couple years before this, I think.
and she played a male character.
Yes.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, evil Dean
She's the
Stockwell.
principal in Kindergarten Cop.
Okay.
No? Well, then
Cool.
that doesn't ring a bell.
Wow.
You never seen Year of Living Dangerously, Aaron? It's good.
No.
It's good.
But I'll put it on the list.
It's Mel Gibson, young Mel Gibson, and Sigourney Weaver.
Nice.
What is that? Indonesia? Is that?
Yeah, they're in Indonesia, right? The Philippines, Indonesia, someplace like that.
Somewhere, yeah.
What is his plan that Dean Stockwell is trying to pass on the king here?
He's telling him, look, you're about to be captured. And I'm the traitor, but I'll help you. I'll help the son and the wife get away if you let me put this poison capsule in your mouth. And then when you get to meet Baron Harkonnen, you pop the capsule and like spit in his face, like breathe on him, and it'll kill. He's like, it'll kill you, but it'll kill him
It'll also
too.
kill him.
Cool.
That's what
But
his.
if you don't do
That's what
this,
his
your
evil scheme is. There's
your
some
wife-
lasery stuff, you guys.
Yeah.
There's some laser.
there's an abundance of machinery about and their starships are huge. When you look at the scale of how like small the people are running into them.
They look a little impractical though. Like they're super wide.
Oh,
There it
there's
is,
the
there it is.
dog.
Oh, there he is. Oh.
Star of the movie.
The poor pug. He's been left homeless.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, you never do find out what happens to the dog, right?
Oh, I don't recall. Uh-oh. This is not good.
Because Paul and
Yeah.
Jessica go off into the desert and the Duke gets captured. I don't think you ever see what happens to the dog after that.
I hate
Mm-mm.
that. Loose ends.
Stormtrooper.
Loose
got-
flying
Got
out.
eaten by a worm.
No. I'm believing the dog is still alive out there. He's,
I bet in the 4-hour cut, you find out what happened.
Yeah, he's alive and well in the catacombs below the fortress.
Right.
He's joined the resistance.
He's leading a resistance movement.
I bet at the very last thing you see in the movie in David Lynch's cut is he picks up the dog and like gives it a big snooky on its
That's the
nose.
post-credit scene.
Yeah.
isn't there a pug in like Men in Black? or
Oh, he's got
something?
the
Oh,
pug.
look, Patrick Stewart has the dog. Patrick Stewart has the dog.
Nice.
We're going into war. I gotta take this dog with me, though.
Let
Bring him
loose
the
the
dog.
dogs of war.
Yeah, that's an odd choice.
Well, it's the king's dog though, so he feels bad. He feels like he has to protect it.
Aaron, if your place burned down and you were killed, wouldn't you want us to save your possums and patches and
Yeah.
cookies? Like,
It's
yeah.
just, he's like having combat. It just seems weird to have a dog in your front, but whatever. Dune.
It's called a shield. Meat shield.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, you're so heartless, Shawn. That's a living test of King's dog.
Hey, you know what? What's his name? Your character in D&D never would have died if you'd have let me sacrifice the dog in the first place.
It was fine. It was all good. And yeah, it was a good story. And I can't believe you would kill a dog. You are heartless.
Over a human?
Well, yeah. Because the
Just
human.
saying.
Yeah, just saying. Well, are we getting to the halfway point? It feels like we're
Yeah, we're about
almost
there.
at that halfway point. Mm.
We can
Oh.
end it after this
Eesh.
scene if you'd like.
Ooh.
Well, it's an appetite suppressant. I was gonna make a snack, but no.
Not now.
After he just spit in her eye.
Mm,
Gee.
I'll power through.
Hmm.
Oh, Sting. You're not
Sting's
nice
still
in
looking
this
good.
movie, Sting.
No, he's a baddie.
But he's not spitting on anybody. He doesn't have boils all over him.
Yeah.
He's not covered in poop. Eyebrow grooming on point.
I know. She's got Terry Hatcher eyes.
She's got dairy hat.
That's why he's so jealous. He's like, look at my eyebrows. They're huge.
I know.
I thought big eyebrows were a point of pride in that with those people.
No.
What
Mhm.
people?
Well. So they've taken over. They've invaded.
I just
Well,
Dude.
I gotta work those intense hand gestures into my day to day.
Yeah.
Yeah, those will play well over Zoom.
Yes.
I need to get another cup of
He's
coffee.
turned on his
Yeah.
block shield.
he turned on his shield. Yeah.
It's very Tron, like the FX look.
Uh-oh.
I really like.
Oh,
Oh,
no. It drilled through the shield.
Jesus.
Oh no.
Last Stand.
That guy's name
Oh.
was Duncan, Idaho.
Cool.
What?
His real name or the character's name?
The character in the movie is
Ah.
named Duncan, Idaho.
Oh. I think that's the best state to put with Duncan. I don't think there's a better. Pennsylvania, Duncan.
Killed Dean Stockwell,
Yeah.
Oh.
even though he helped him.
Oh, but he knew this would happen, right?
a lot of characters like are only in the first bit of this. Like, you know, Linda Hunt's in this movie for like 30 seconds before she gets
half the cast dies in the first half.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they're not afraid to pull punches.
I think this is a good place to stop, so I'm going to pause.
This is them leaving.
And we will start up again next week.
What are we at? 1:10:52?
Yep.
1:10:52.
So there was the first half of Dune.
That was sort of a downer.
It was an hour of exposition, and then something happened.
She's not wearing her face mask right. I can see her nose.
That's true, Aaron. We'll have to write a complaint to the FCC.
As our friend points out, she refers to that as showing your penis when people do that.
Nice.
Jeez. Hadn't heard of that. Is that opening the kimono?
You know it, Daddy.
The nose kimono.
I feel like David Lynch has put us into a weird mood.
Yeah.
This movie is doing something.
Watch a David Lynch movie again.
I feel like the worms are taking over. I don't know. I
feel like
at some point, somebody's going to take our
is...
names off of this episode of Warped.
This movie is like being on Spice while we're watching it. Like,
the second half, a little bit more action occurs in the second half than in the first half. But anyways, do we just want to end the show, or you want to do some Connect 4?
Let's just
Let's get through it.
Are you red or black?
We'll enjoy later.
Yeah, Connect 4 would be hard to play on the podcast form.
Pretty sneaky, sis.
Thanks very much for listening to Warped. Please join us next week for part 2 of Dune. Until then, you can email us at warpedthepodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram at warpedthepodcast, and our merchandise is at lunar_flare. We're on Twitter at warptrek. You can follow me at Host Warped. Follow Minh to learn about our Dungeons and Dragons and Call of Cthulhu live streams and podcasts at Wet Maynard. Or go to patreon.com/warped and become a member to get access to additional material and bonus episodes.
Sweet. Well, like I said, next week we'll be watching the second half of Dune. And until then, my name is Shawn.
My name is Matt.
I'm Jake.
Aaron.
Minh.
And I'm May.
Good night, everybody.